All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the studio. Kind of wrapping up our brief little series on some of my favorite stuff in the kitchen. Again, I've talked about this before, the oddity. It's kind of weird to have Obsessed Garage pimping, selling kitchen stuff, but I feel like this stuff is underserved, and so that's why I've created the sister brand Destination Obsessed Garage. To me, the house is attached to the garage, not the opposite. To me, the garage is the most important part. It's the part I walk into. It's the part I spend most of my time in. And yet, I still have a kitchen, an outdoor kitchen, closets. I still have some places in the house that I feel like I can provide some value, and so that's where this stuff comes in. I'm sure if you're a carpenter, you could probably, craft and build your own stuff, but this stuff is already built, already exists. It's called Häfele, H-A-F-E-L-E, as you notice from the title. It's pronounced Häfele. It's a German manufacturer of all kinds of drawer, pantry, closet, all kinds of organization things, little parts and pieces. Their catalogs, hundreds of pages. They also do closet lighting and things like that. But they make these really interesting inserts for kitchen drawer organization, which I've found is really underserved. Unless you get lucky and have a really great builder that has a relationship with an amazing cabinet manufacturer. Any high-end house I've ever been in, I've never seen this stuff. So I feel like this needs to be brought online and needs to be made available to you. And we need to take some of the luck out of the equation here and just make it so that when you do buy a new house, you build a new house, or you want to improve your existing house, you know that this stuff is available, and hopefully, if I'm lucky, you'll buy it from me. So go check out the other videos of some of the cutlery inserts and the places to organize, the pieces to organize your flatware and all that stuff. This is the more specific stuff that is designed for spices, knives, and I'm going to show you what they call Hafele Move if you want to stay away from cutting and try to just kind of squeeze it into your drawer. I'll show you the Move stuff, which is over here on the right. So let's start with the knife blocks. These get really, really, really expensive, but you only have to buy this once. You can have the knife on the counter. I find that the knife on the counter tends to get real dusty and dirty over time. So I kind of like taking and putting my knives in a drawer. I have all my fancy, I like Yaxel Super Gal are the knives that I like. And so I have them set up in my, I also have Henkel's for Michelle, so she didn't cut her arm off. The Yaxels are a little too sharp for her to mess with. So we have our old Yaxels from when we got married at our wedding registry, the J.A. Henkel stuff. But the knife block comes in two different sizes. It's a 15 and 9/16 and then a 21 and 9/16. They call it an 18-inch and then a 24-inch. It's actually 15 and 9/16. So you want to make sure to go to the Obsessed Garage site and look at the dimensions. And so what I'd give you advice on how to do this. Go kind of figure out where you want your stuff to be in your drawers, measure the width and depth, and then you can go onto the Obsessed Garage site and look at the dimensions. Don't look at what they call it. Again, they call this the 18-inch. It's really 15 and 9/16 inches wide, or 21 and 9/16 inches wide. So just to put into perspective, most of you are going to buy birch. Birch matches maple cabinets the best. So the birch finish, birch version is also the least expensive, but the knife block is the biggest investment. $188 for the 18-inch version. The 24-inch version is $257. That's in today's pricing. And shipping, if you spend over $500 on Häfele, shipping's included. They have multiple distribution facilities throughout the country, and so what we do is we, rather than stocking it here, at least for the time being, unless it gets really, really big and you guys buy tons of this stuff from us, we're gonna just place individual orders, drop ship it to you. I maintain a little bit of a margin on it, but their shipping is really, really generally very, very quick, and generally the stuff is in stock. So the knife drawer, knife insert isn't going to fit your drawer, right? It's not going to fit. It's not going to be deep enough, and so it's going to have to be cut. Almost always. So make sure you buy an insert that's bigger. And so if your drawer, let's say your drawer is 16 inches wide. Well, this one at 15 and 9/16, so 15 and a half basically, this isn't going to fit. So you're going to have to buy the bigger one. You're going to have to buy the 24-inch version and just spend the extra money and cut it. Right, you're going to have to do that. But each one of these comes with a drawer extension. So this comes as a kit. You know, here's the black ash version. So it comes as a kit. So generally, you're going to cut this horizontally. You're going to cut this horizontally, and then you'll cut this. I guess you're going to cut it vertically, and you'll cut this horizontally to fit your drawer, and it should for pressure fit in place. They do provide in here a piece of double-sided tape, like VHB type tape that you could use, but you want to cut it so that it fits the drawer. And all these are cut. We have some videos showing you how to do this. We'll put that in the description, some of the links to this, but make sure you go check out how to do this. It's actually really, really, really easy to install. As long as you feel comfortable using a basic table saw, you just use a push stick so you don't cut your fingers off. You can go rent a table saw. So if you don't have one, you know what I would have done back in the day is I'd have gone to Home Depot. It's like 40 bucks. You can rent a table saw for half a day. If you had 3 or 4 drawers to do, I mean, you figure you're going to spend, let's say you're spending 800 bucks to do your drawers, spend 40 bucks to get a table saw, and you could rip this out in like a couple of hours. Just measure a bunch of times, make sure you're cutting the right dimension, cut it a little big to start if you had to, and just shave it if you're not comfortable cutting it exactly to fit. But the knife blocks are some of the nicest pieces that they have. I just want to make you aware, you know, the way that this stuff is, the way that it's built, the bottom piece is a veneer. I'm not sure why they do this. Probably because they're just going from big sheets. So it's a MDF core with a in this case black ash veneer or walnut veneer or birch veneer, and then these pieces here are solid, walnut, and then they're either stained or painted. The birch is a natural finish. The black ash, so it's actually ash that's painted or dyed. I think it's just a wood paint, so it's painted black. So for all our outdoor kitchen stuff, I do the black ash one because it's painted, so it's going to be a little bit more moisture resistant. It matches the black boxes for our NatureCast cabinets as well. So I'm actually taking all this black stuff to Helen to put in the drawers in our outdoor kitchen there. So knife blocks, again, we talked about the different finishes. They don't make this in white oak, so it only comes in black ash, walnut, or birch. And just to put it in perspective, the birch 18 inch is $188, the walnut 18 inch is $407. The black ash 18 inch is $297. I get, these seem like they're too much money for what they are. There's a lot that goes into building this thing. I mean, you can see how each individual piece has to be nailed in place. It's not a lot of wood, but I mean, I guess we're paying for IP. To me, it's worth it. I know some of you are freaking out about this, the expense of this. But to figure, a normal kitchen is going to cost you, let's say, somewhere between $800 and $2,000 to really step up your organization. It's really custom. Really makes, I think, a big difference in the overall look and feel of how your kitchen looks and is organized. So, I mean, this is not for everybody. I'm not doing this because it's expensive, despite what most people give me a hard time about. I'm putting this in the store because I've bought a lot of this for Helen, for my bathroom, for my kitchen here in Florida. I think it's really, really great stuff, really amazing stuff. Let's just set the knife blocks aside and let's talk about the spice drawers. There's 2 options for the spice drawers if you have maple cabinets. Option 1 is to choose the birch version of a stepped spice drawer. So you get the depth extension, which you're likely going to end up cutting. And these come in the same 18 inch or 24 inch. Comes in all the different colors as well. So here's the 18 inch and here's the 24 inch. Now remember, 18 inches 15 and 9/16. The 24 inches 21 and 9/16. But the way that these install is it essentially goes like this. And if you cut it correctly in your drawer, this will fit, sort of pressure fit onto the side. And then when you cut this to depth, this will sort of hold everything in place and lock it in. And then you put your spices, you know, you figure your drawer face is here, and so you put your spices and they kind of sit on the side. So this is one option. These are quite a bit less expensive. So like the 18-inch birch is $75. The 24 inches, $102. Even the walnut, $122, $168. So the walnut version, these are not nearly as expensive, largely because these are, again, these are veneered. And I know this is going to trigger some of you, but again, it must cost a lot less to manufacture this, to veneer it, than it is to, it seems like it'd be a bigger process than it would be to just, you know, cut a solid piece of birch out of this. But I guess they make these sheets of veneer pretty much more inexpensively. So if this was full, you know, a full sheet of birch, it probably would cost, you know, $800. I don't know, maybe at least, you know, I would assume it would be double. So that's the 24-inch version. The other option, 18. The other option you can do is the full sheet. These are quite a bit nicer. They only make this in birch. They don't make it in other finishes. So this they call the stepped spice insert. This is called the spice tray insert. So they only make it in birch. It's 15 1/4 and 23 1/2. So it's a little different sizing, so keep that in mind. And then this, you know, this you're gonna, you know, cut this way, this way. These didn't come with a depth extension, so you may need to buy a separate standalone depth extension with these. But these are quite a bit more money, $180. So it's $100 more for this, 180 and 222. So these inserts cost quite a bit more. So that's really the only two specialty drawers, is the spice drawer and the knife drawer that not everybody's going to have. Many of you may have a vertical spice holder, but I'm telling you, this to me, it just makes the whole kitchen so much more organized. We'll get into pantry organization later on. I'm going to redo my pantry at my house. I haven't tackled some of the pantry things that Häfele provides us or supplies us with. So I'll get into that in the future. So now the non-cutting or minimal cutting version is called Hafele Move, M-O-V-E. So these come in 4 different types of boxes. So let's see, what do they call these? So they call this, let's see, so you have cutlery box 1, which is this, cutlery box 2, which is this. They have a multi-purpose insert, which is this, and then they have this cutlery insert, which is this. So the concept here is generally you're not going to cut, and then the other piece is going to be a depth extension, which would be these. So you could buy these separately, and so you would utilize these pieces. So let's kind of put together a hypothetical example here of how this would work. I haven't done this yet in any of my drawers. I've cut everything custom. So let's use our birch setup. So let's say that your drawer had something like this, and then you'd have one of these inserts. Let's say it was wide enough to hold. You probably wouldn't be able to do that. So let's say it was roughly this wide. How would this go in this box? So maybe it's pretty deep. I don't know. Something like this. And then he would cut this down. And then maybe we needed our depth extension here. It's kind of weird that these aren't the same width. Oh, these aren't the right depth extension. There's a specific Fineline Move depth extension that would fit this width. So just pretend here for a minute that it was like this. And then they have these stainless clamps, and so the clamps allow you to lock it in place. So I'd lock all of my pieces, you know, whatever was appropriate. Like this to me seems to make a lot of sense for like a desk drawer or something like that. And I can lock this all in. and now this stays in place. I could also put the VHB, the double-sided tape, on the bottom side of it, and then I can kind of organize my setup utilizing all these little clamp pieces. So, you know, different size boxes you can kind of put together. You know, in order to make this really great, you probably would want to still cut, but this does give me some more options on how we can organize a drawer. You really have to either do one of two things. You're gonna have to just buy a bunch of this crap, and it can get expensive to do that. So to give you an idea, the birch cutlery insert, so this piece here, the birch cutlery is, let's see, that's $101. The multi-purpose insert, which is this piece here, which could also be utilized to kind of organize your drawer, that piece is $52. The boxes are $37 and $108, so the big box is $108. And the depth extensions are, let's see, depth extension is $60, and then you have the clips. Shoot, these clips are $5 a piece, $4.57 a piece, because they're T316 stainless. So this is one of those things where you would want to really put unless you're just really rich, you probably don't want to buy a bunch of extra stuff. You want to kind of put your head together and get tape measure out, kind of mock it up. On the Häfele site, we'll try to put it on ours as well. There's a lot of there's diagrams of all the dimensions of these boxes, so you could kind of tape it off in your drawers. You know, if you're only going to do one set, or one house, you could just take a weekend or take a few hours and tape everything off and kind of figure out how you want to store your stuff. If you're like me, and you're an idiot, you would just buy a bunch of it like I did. I bought like 4 of each, spent a freaking small fortune, and I'm gonna go through and organize everything and figure out what works. So I'm probably gonna utilize this like in my desk drawer, maybe some other areas of the house. I've got a big drawer in my filing cabinet that I have a bunch of camera gear and stuff that I'm gonna put this in, and that's why I bought a bunch of this stuff to test out. So that's Häfele cutlery insert, spice drawer, and the Move stuff that you could consider buying for your kitchen, your desk, your bathroom, any place that has drawers that you wanted some organization, and you want it to not just be the plastic stuff from Container Store, Bed Bath & Beyond. This is a more sophisticated, more of a custom cut system that I believe, if you watch our videos, you watch some videos on how I install this stuff, it's really quite simple. So don't let it scare you away. If you have a buddy, you don't feel comfortable, get yourself a buddy that's good at mechanical stuff. If they have some mechanical ability, they could very easily, help you cut this stuff and fit your drawers in like an hour or two. You could do a whole kitchen. So thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. Go to obsessedgarage.com. Click on the Destination OG tab. You can see all this stuff on the site. And then if you have any questions, hit up our design team, design@obsessedgarage.com. They're an expert in this stuff. They can help you think through and help you with waste. Make sure you don't buy the wrong stuff, and help you get your drawers organized. They can kind of help you think through what you might need. So thanks for watching. As always, stay tuned for more crazy. I love this kind of stuff. This is what a true passionate, obsessed person would choose to do in their kitchen, pantry, bathroom, laundry room, desk, just getting your drawers dialed in. We'll see you on the next video.